Hello friends. I just sat down to do my makeup and I was going to watch a YouTube video, and then I thought, why not film for YouTube? Because I've been trying to do this home improvements vlog over the last few weeks and it is just rolling on and on. I can only do really small pockets of things here and there, which means that actually putting together the whole, like a vlog worthy amount of home improvement stuff is taking a long time. So I just thought I could do a vlog that's just a chill catch-up vlog, you know. It's been a few weeks since I uploaded. How are we all? I'm not going anywhere today, but I have told myself to just start making a bit more of an effort, basically. If you follow me on other socials, which of course you should, some of you will know that Rue was unwell. She's a pretty tough little cookie, I think, to be fair to her. She was unwell and then I was a bit unwell as a knock-on effect, probably like partly her cold and partly just pure exhaustion. So I've had an intense few weeks of looking like a slug, basically. And now I'm on the rebound, because this is the constant loop in my life. I know some of you will be able to relate. You go through periods of time where you are just not looking after yourself at all. You let everything slide, like my nails were raggedy, I didn't wear makeup for weeks, my hair was, I don't even want to discuss my hair. And now I'm coming out the other side of it. I'm blossoming. I'm the butterfly leaving the cocoon, although that's quite a generous description of what's happening. Essentially, I've just started washing my hair and putting makeup on again. That's it. I've been trying, keyword trying, to organise Rue's first birthday. We're not going all out, but obviously we do want to celebrate. I actually cannot believe that my baby is going to be 1. But at the same time, she's coming into her own so much. She's got such a strong little personality that I kind of can believe it, because she's not a little baby anymore, that is for sure. But yeah, I've been trying to organise her baby shower? No, her birthday party. So we've rented a little hall, just having a little do, but there are a few babies coming because obviously my sister has a baby, some of my friends have babies. So there'll be a few babies there. So I wanted to rent just a little soft play, like you can hire out a soft play area, and they'll bring you like the mats and a couple of obstacles and a tunnel and a ball pit and that kind of thing. What I really wanted is like a cute one, because, you know, and I know that that's completely for me, like she doesn't care what colour the soft play is, but I wanted to rent one of the ones that you can get for like weddings and stuff that are just white and silver and gold. That's what I wanted, but I just don't think it exists around where I live. I've Googled, I've asked on forums, well, that's all I've done, but those are the things you do, aren't they? So as time is now ticking on, I actually contacted just a regular one because, you know, needs must. If I have to put up with colours in my life, then I will. Still, can't get through to anyone. The elusive soft play. It's not like Rue's gonna remember it. This birthday party is basically for everybody else, isn't it? Like a first birthday. She's gonna be literally none the wiser. This is my favourite mascara combo at the moment. I know you're not supposed to put wands from one tube into another tube, but I'm a renegade, what can I say? Maybelline Sky High wand in Urban Decay Lash Freak. I bought the Revlon One Step volumizing brush thing, the rolly brush. This is the second time that I've used it, so I'm still just kind of getting to grips with it and playing around with it, but this is like no straightening iron, no ceramic or titanium has touched my head, which I think is amazing because I've got pretty curly, I'd say like 3C hair probably, and never have I been able to get something like this from a blow dry. This little handheld hoover I got from Aldi is literally the best thing ever. I bought this because Home of Sade recommended it. She'd got a slightly different one from Aldi again, but it was like a slightly better version. This was all they had in my local Aldi, so I got this one. But oh my god, it's a lifesaver for like zhuzhing over areas without having to get the hoover out. It's a few hours later and as you can see, we're starting to get some fuzz back, which isn't the end of the world. And also what I've learned is I'm just not that good at having my hair down. It just annoys me. Like, as soon as I feel it on my neck, I just want to put it up. But I'm trying my best not to put it up so much. I thought we could do a little... Is that light really annoying? It's quite annoying, isn't it? I thought I would do a little book TV chat, you know, in the spirit of a catch-up. I think last time I talked about books on here, I was reading, or just about to start, rather, The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo. I finished this now. I did enjoy it. I still haven't read any of her other books, but I will do because I did really enjoy this. Somebody said it's like watching a film, and that is so true. It was such an easy read. I never know whether to talk about books with spoilers or not. I am going to. I was watching Sunbeam's Jess the other day, and she said she doesn't really mind spoilers, and it made me think about it, and I don't either. It doesn't put me off watching something or reading something. Anyway, if you're not sure of the premise of this book, it's essentially centred around this character, Evelyn Hugo. She invites a journalist to her house because she wants this journalist to write her biography. So the protagonist, Monique. Why can't I say that name? I can hear it in my head and I can't. She is invited to interview her, and she doesn't understand why she's been chosen, but essentially as the story unravels, their lives are more intertwined than first appears. I did really enjoy it. Like I said, it's like watching a film. It's just a really easy read, really compelling. I loved the kind of old Hollywood vibes, but I did sort of guess the twist. There is a twist, sorry to tell you that. Yeah, I did sort of guess it. Well, I didn't guess exactly what it was, but I guessed who it was related to. So did that take the shine off it? No. The problem I have is, and having just said I love spoilers, this is maybe closely linked. If I know something's going to happen, or if I predict something's going to happen, I kind of like, I don't know, it's like I'm rushing through to that point. And I'm exactly the same if I'm reading a scene that's really tense, or if I'm reading a scene where two characters who have had loads of sexual tension are finally going to kiss. Whatever it may be, I don't savour the book. Once I'd guessed what I thought was going to happen, I was just waiting for it to happen. I then moved on to The Confession by Jessie Burton. I love Jessie Burton's writing. I loved The Miniaturist. I still haven't read House of Fortune, so that is coming up on my list. This is essentially about a girl who's kind of on a quest to discover who her mother was. And along the way, she kind of becomes entrapped in her own web of lies. The theme of motherhood is just woven throughout it, but it's not your typical mum story. I think what this does is it explores really well all those other versions of motherhood which perhaps aren't as well spoken about, alongside a storyline of kind of self-identity and self-realisation. I think what's really interesting about this book is I don't usually get on well with dual narratives, or there's usually one storyline which I prefer a lot more than the other. Whereas this, it has movements in time and movement between characters, but I found all of the storylines really intriguing and I wanted to know more about all of them. Really good book, absolute page turner. I very much enjoyed that one. And now that those two are finished, I'm finally reading The Testaments by Margaret Atwood. I bought this book for my sister back when it was published. She read it and she gave it straight to me, and it's been on my shelf ever since, which I think was like, 2019. I'm about halfway through, nearly halfway through. Handmaid's Tale, the whole Gilead setup is an interesting and slightly uncomfortably close to home dystopia. So it's just interesting to get lost in. In terms of TV, we watched The Capture on BBC iPlayer, which I would definitely recommend. It's like a police detective drama. It's all based around the idea of CCTV and deep fakes and people manipulating technological evidence, so like video evidence, etc. There are 2 seasons. I enjoyed them equal amounts, I would say. If you're not typically into police dramas, I still think you would find a lot to like in The Capture. We watched Dharma, which I don't even need to really talk about that because I'm sure you all know about it. We started to watch Rings of Power, which is the Lord of the Rings, it's not spin-off, kind of spin-off TV series on Amazon Prime. I think we made it to like episode 5, and I have to admit, that was us really forcing ourselves. I just found it a bit too fantastical, which sounds ridiculous, I know. I like Lord of the Rings, I like The Hobbit, but I think if you are going to the level of fantasy that those stories do, the acting has to be spot on. And I don't think in the series it was. I felt very conscious that I was watching actors playing a part, rather than obviously sinking into it and feeling like you're kind of immersed in this fantasy world. It just felt a bit too, you know. So we abandoned Rings of Power and started watching House of the Dragon, which I'm really enjoying so far. We've just got to episode 6 and they've changed loads of the cast, which has thrown me slightly. I'm a creature of habit. I like things to stay the same, okay? I don't like change. I have really enjoyed it. I want to sit down and watch it every evening, which is a good sign. And yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on in TV world. This is my life now. You're okay. I'm just making you breakfast. Rue had a little bout of hand, foot and mouth disease, which is why she looks like she's been through the wars, don't you, darling? You're okay. I just got to make your breakfast. I can't pick you up right this second. Order is restored because Rue has her breakfast. I'm back in a bun, as you can see. We're just having a little chill day today. I thought we'd pick the camera up. Sorry, I'm just making sure she is actually chewing that pancake that she's eating. I'm doing a little bit of recipe making for her. Recipe making, that makes no sense. I've conceptualized a recipe in my mind, but I have yet to actually try it, and I don't know if it will work out. As I mentioned, Rue had a little bout of hand, foot and mouth disease, which I didn't even know was a thing, but apparently is very common in children. Don't know how I've worked in schools for so long and I didn't know it was a thing. It's probably because the Public Health England advises that children can still go to school, even though it's contagious. I also didn't teach any under 5s, and that's apparently where it's more common, so maybe that's why, I don't know. So yeah, bless her, she was covered in like sores and spots and blisters for a good few days, and she was so upset at night time because she was just so uncomfortable. She's past it now, she's getting much better. Her blisters have almost all cleared up. Her legs are still a bit patchy, but fingers crossed they will fade away in the next few days. She also had her first few nursery taster sessions during that time. She was supposed to go on the Friday, but that's when she was still a bit miserable. She didn't have a fever at any point, which is quite lucky because that is one of the symptoms, but she was a bit grizzly and under the weather. So I rang them up and just said, like, I know she can come in, technically, it's not like a reason for her not to come in, but I just don't really want her first nursery experience to be when she's not herself. So we waited over the weekend. She went in for an hour on Monday, 2 hours on Tuesday, today's Wednesday, and then she starts properly tomorrow. But yeah, the sessions went really well. I picked her up and she looked at me like, didn't even notice you were gone. So, all good. She's asleep and I'm gonna take this opportunity to do my nails, which I really should do other things in nap time, but I can cook when she's awake. I can manage to cook when she's awake, but doing nails is just impossible. I would just like you to have a look at my nails. Firstly, this nail broke, which is a shame. I do my own Biab. I managed to do this hand yesterday. This hand, only in mum life would you be walking around with one hand done and the other hand looking like trash. I'll show you the products that I use because I've talked about this on my Instagram stories before and got a few questions. I used to use a nail dehydrator primer thing, but now I just use 100% acetone. Apparently that is the best thing to use for drying your nails out for Biab, so I use the Miley 100% acetone. I don't do a full take off. That nail I have taken off because it was peeling, but for the most part I just file down until the top layers are gone and it's all smooth. I just find that actually really helps your next set stick and gives you that longevity. If I take them all off and start again, then I'm likely to get peeling and have to deal with all that all over again, so I'd really rather not. I do a base coat of the Miley 5-in-1 Builder Gel. This is just a thin coat, which I then cure in my, I've got a UV lamp, not an LED, so it takes a little bit longer, but I cure that for 1 minute 30 seconds. Also, I'll be warming this up. So the whole time I'm doing my base coat, I've got this like in between my legs or down my brow or something to make sure it's nice and warm. After the clear Builder Gel, I go in with a slip layer of this. A slip layer is just a very thin layer. And essentially, wherever you put that slip layer, the next layer will adhere onto even stronger. So I just put a slip layer on, which means I can do all 5 nails, thin coat, making sure that it's obviously not touching your cuticles or your edges and just capping the tip of your nail slightly. And then I cure it again for 1 minute 30. I then have to move to doing the nails in sets. So I'll do my thumb on its own, my first 2 fingers on their own, and then why is that so hard to do? My last 2 fingers on their own. That's when I use the Biab technique of taking a big bead of it and dragging it back and forth across the nail. If you've not seen what I mean, then I would really heavily recommend going on TikTok and having a look at how nail techs do Biab. Then you hang your nail upside down for, I don't know, like 30 seconds, which allows the Builder Gel to gather and form an apex, because Builder Gel is very blobby, and if you keep it that way, it will literally like start spilling out and be thick at the sides, which you obviously don't want. So turn it over like that, and then sometimes I will use a very thin detail brush just on the edges of my nails to press down and seal those edges and make sure they're really thin. Then I cure that for 2 minutes. Are you still with me? And then after I've done that, I will use the no wipe top coat. Again, I can do all 5 nails at once, and then I cure that again for 2 minutes. So you can see why with all those curing times, it can take quite a while. So yeah, I'm gonna do my other hand and pray that she doesn't wake up before it's all cured and done and dusted. So yeah, especially get yourself. So this is the Biab technique that I was talking about. Essentially get like a glob, such a horrible word, isn't it? And you put it on the nail. I sort of put it in the middle. I work up towards my cuticle, like rotating and dragging. But wherever I put that slip layer is generally where it will stick to, which is very handy. And then when you get towards the end of the nail, if you keep pushing, you sort of naturally cap the nail. I'm just going to seal my edges with this detail brush. And then I hang the nail upside down. Success. Nails done. Cooking and filming done. I made these spicy lentil veggie nuggets. They had to cook for a little bit longer than I had anticipated, but I am happy with the finished product, so you can keep an eye out on my TikTok if you want the recipe. We were sent this baby encyclopedia from What on Earth Books. It's by Britannica, and it is absolutely gorgeous. I'm obsessed with it. I think it would make such a nice gift. It's basically categorised, obviously not like a normal encyclopedia, into themes, and then each one is just beautifully illustrated. So this is our world. It goes through all the different weathers, different landscapes. Then we've got animals. Again, all beautiful illustrations. Rue really loves looking at all these pictures, don't you, darling? I feel like it's 0 to 3 years old, but she's going to be using this for so much longer than that, I can tell. Because even when they start properly reading themselves, this is the kind of book that children love because it's big. And it's also really inclusive, because I noticed in this bit about the body, obviously we've got children of all different races and heritages going on here, but also there's a little girl there who's got a cleft lip. There's a little boy who's only got one arm in the food section. Loads of different types of people represented, which I think is as it should be, but also, you know, is a nice touch and is worth noting. It's just gorgeous. I'm obsessed with it. I love it. Just got back from a very blustery walk. I'm gonna make some lunch. I'm gonna try and make like a little sweet potato hash because I've got a load of kale that needs to be eaten. I'm just gonna pan fry. I've got some sweet potato, which I've cut into teeny tiny cubes, and then I'll chuck in the kale. Maybe I should fry an egg and pop it on top. Oh, I've also been pickling some red cabbage, so I can put some down the side. That'd be nice. Sweet potato, carrot, kale, pickled red cabbage, egg, and a random tortilla wrap, because why not? Somebody is awake and grumpy and all up in my business. Can Mummy have her pen? Oh, are you writing? Oh, wow. Wow, that's really good, Rue. It is Cyan from the future. I'm just hopping on to say that's helpful. Last vlog, this vlog that you've just watched, was such a weird mishmash of like spaces throughout November. So the first bit was filmed at the start of November, second bit was like around the 7th, so a week in, and now I feel like time is just running away from me. The next vlog is going to be getting ready for a certain somebody's first birthday. So I'm going to be talking through her birthday cake, her party plans, and also what we've got her. Thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye, see you later.